Now it's being recorded, the session. Thanks. Thank you very much for letting me know. So we have these 10 items in this exercise, and we have for each item the value of one item, and we have the quantity for each item. Let's answer the questions not related to this ABC analysis later on. Let's just first do this exercise together, and then we can discuss all other questions, okay? And what is also given here in this exercise, the ranges for the three groups A, B, C are here in this example, 60% for the A items, 30% for the B items, and 10% for the C items. This can change for each company. Each company can have individual values here. Okay, so this is what is given. Now we are supposed to do an ABC classification. And what to do now? What would be the next step? What would be the next step?
To find the annual usage.
We have to calculate the annual usage. That's correct. And how do we do that? Do you know?
We multiply the quantity and the unit value together.
Yes, that's correct. So for the first item, we would multiply 74 times 76, and then we repeat this for all the other items. So here on the second slide, you see the annual. Let me make it bigger here. So we do the following calculation: 74 times 76 equals 5,624, and we repeat this for all the other items. Of course, you can do this via calculator, or you can set up some Excel spreadsheet to do that. And now we have the annual value. What would be now the next step? Step number 2.
To rearrange them from descending order?
Yes, exactly. So we now do a resorting of all the 10 items, and the item that is on top of our list is the item with the highest annual value. And this would be here the item P10, because this has the highest value of 6,006. Yes, so I did a rearrangement. Look at the first column. Now the sequence of the items has changed. P10 is the first, P1 the second, and now P9 is the last item, because P9 has the lowest annual usage. Yeah? So the sequence is, of course, important, that we are going according to descending annual value. Descending annual value. The highest annual value is first, and the lowest annual value is last. And now we can already calculate the percentage. I want to have the percentage of the annual value. This would be step number 3. First, in this table, I just deleted the first 2 columns for space reasons. But it's the same numbers, of course, like on the previous slide. And first I took the total of the second column here, which is 27,736. And then I calculate the percentage of the annual values just by dividing the annual value of an item, which is here 6,006 for P10, by the total, 27,000, etc. Multiplied by via 100 to get the percentage. So this means this is 22% of the annual value is used for product P10. And product P7 amounts to 5% of the annual value. And of course, the annual value is now also descending. This is always the case, because we sorted the annual value in Omani Real also descending. So it has to go smaller here in the same way. Of course, sometimes the percentages are similar. If we calculate more digits behind the 11, then it will change slightly. But this is what we have to do. And now I do a cumulation of the annual value. Yeah, I look at the cumulative annual value. How do I do that? Okay, for the, let's say this slide is not, here it is better. Here you see it better. So now I'm talking about the column number 1, 2, 3, 4, cumulative percentage in column number 4. So for the first value, it's just the same as the annual percentage. And then for the second value, for P1, we calculate 20 plus 22. For P3, we calculate 14 plus 42. Yeah, for P9, we calculate 3 plus 95. And then in the end, we will get to 100. Maybe because of rounding, you have them like 99.9 or slightly higher if the rounding was not very precise, but in the end, it should always amount to 100%.
Mr.
Yes?
In the product of P5, the 99, is it rounded as well? Because 95 plus 3 is equal to 98.
Yes, yes. There's also some rounding. Yeah,
Okay.
you're completely right. Here in P5, if you just really calculate, use the numbers that are here shown, it should be 98, of course, and then for P9, 99. But I did it with Excel, and there was also some more digits behind the decimal sign, and therefore this is the explanation why it's not super precisely here. Yeah, you paid well attention. Very good. Okay. Now our calculations is done. We are completed with our calculation. And now we just need to decide which of the products are in our class A, which are in B, and which are into the group C. So now we need our knowledge from the beginning, from the given data, the ranges for A, B, and C. I put it here below the table. Yeah, in this exercise, the A products were the first 60%, the B products were the following 30%, and the C products were the remaining 10%. So that means which products are now in the group A? Yeah, this would
the
be
ones that are below 60%.
all products where the cumulative percentage is below 60% correctly. Yeah? This would be the first 3 products, P10, P1, and P3. They are in our group A. And then we look at the next 30%. Yeah, though everything that is lower than 90% would be in group B. Here, please pay attention. I defined it in the following way, that everything that is smaller than 90% is in B. Yeah, so the 60 is not including everything that is smaller than 60 is in A, everything that is smaller than 90 is in B, and the rest is in C. So therefore, for this reason, P7 is not part of the group B, okay? Yeah, because it's exactly 90. And then the remaining products, P7, P4, P5, and P9, they are in our class C. Okay, and that's it. That's how you do the ABC analysis. And how do we do that? Or why do we do that? Now we have a grouping of our items, and the management can spend most of the time on the items in group A, because these are the items where we spend most of our money in our inventory. and the items number C are those items where usually we have a lot of items, but they are of little value. And in practical scenarios, what you often observe, according to the Pareto rule, is that we have only a very few A items and a huge number of C items. Yeah, of course, here we only have, for this exercise, we are only dealing with 10 items in total. But if you have like 20,000 items, typically a small percentage is A items and a big percentage is C items. And we should spend most of the management resources to try to avoid problems with the A items, and the C items we do not have to spend the same amount of time. We should spend less time, and this is one way how to do a classification of items in a warehouse and to decide how we should spend our management capacity. What is rather interesting, of course, you can apply the same method although outside of inventory management. Yeah, of course, you learn it here in the context of inventory management, but you could apply the same method, the same simple method, when you want to analyze your customers, for example, in a marketing context, or when you want to analyze your research budget, where to spend your research budget, for example. So you can apply this ABC analysis to many, many different settings. Here we just focus on managing our stuff in our warehouse. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions on how to get from the given data to the classification. If something was maybe unclear, if something was too quick and I should repeat it, please let me know. You can either unmute your microphone, or depending on how many questions there are, maybe it's better to write it in the chat. And then I can go over the slides again.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. I couldn't understand how to classify them, because you said class A will be 60 and below.
Yes.
But then when you come to B and C, everything is like greater than 30 and 10.
Okay, yeah, that's good. For A, the A items, we look at everything that is smaller than 60. Now the class B is 30 percentage units wide. That means, but now you cannot look at numbers below 30.
Yes.
Now you have to look at numbers from 60 until 89.9. Yeah,
Yes,
and
Mr.
for the class C, it's everything from 90 until 100%.
And Mr. Does it always the before the last column, does it always equal to 100?
It has to equal
The
to 100.
percentage.
There
Yes.
might be some small rounding errors, but if you do it precisely with Excel, yeah, or with a lot of digits behind your if you do the calculation more precise, then it should always add up to 100. But when we do some early rounding, it might only get to 99 point something.
Okay, Mr. Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
but Mr. Even if the cumulative percent is 100, we consider it as C.
Yes, because this needs to be included, because we would have one or two items that are in another class like D. Yeah, so for A, everything that is smaller than 60. For B, everything that is smaller than 90. And the rest, including the 100%, is C.
Mr. I have a question, but not about this one, regarding the one that you explained in the recordings.
Yeah.
Mr. When I tried, Mr., to compare your answers and the answer of the textbook, it was not exactly the same. Is it because the classification percentage of A, B, and C are different?
So now I'm not sure where there was exactly the difference. So I think I took the data from the textbook. Was there just a small rounding problem, or was there some bigger gap?
It was regarding the classification of A and B and C. It was not the same.
I think I took different ranges. Maybe.
Because, Mr., what I understood is that you said from the beginning of the recording that you took the example from the textbook.
Yeah. But I think I took different different groups for A, B, and C.
Maybe it's like this.
Maybe you can check this if in the slides they mention the same. You have the textbook. I uploaded it to Moodle, so maybe
yes.
In the textbook they have different percentages for the classes.
Maybe, Mr., because when I tried to see, I couldn't even find the percentages of A, B, and C.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was not included.
Okay. Yeah. But you could calculate the same cumulative numbers?
Mr., I believe it will be correct, but just the classification is different because I didn't solve the question. I just look at the final answer.
Yeah. I think the classification was different, but I need to check again. I will do it after this live session, and then I will post it on Teams. Let me write it down so that I can make sure if there's some difference.
Mr., can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
How many topics will include in the final exam?
In the final exam, so not tomorrow's quiz, but the final exam. The final exam will cover all the material of the course.
So it will be only 3 topics?
No, there will be some more lectures, but everything that is on Moodle will be included. And of course, there will be some questions that were also in a similar way in a quiz. For example, this ABC analysis can also be part of the final exam. Therefore, if you prepare for these quizzes well, you already have a lot of work done towards preparing for the final exam.
Okay, Mr. So can you tell us how many lectures we will study?
I think there will be some more things about inventory management. So we will add some slides to this topic. And there will be something about controlling. But this will only be a short overview, and there's not a lot of calculations involved at this level.
Mr.
Okay, Mr. Shit, thank you.
Okay.
Mr., about the final, how much is it, like, how much is the time that you're going to give us?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. How much is
time will we have for the final?
The final, you will have 2 hours, but the final, as far as I know, will be in geotech. So you will bring
Mr., can you give us like an example of how will the exam be, like a mock paper?
I cannot give you a mock thesis, but I mean the questions in the final exam will be in a very similar style to the questions from the tutorials and the quizzes. So there will not be a big change in the types of questions or the covered contents. Though if you prepare for the quizzes well and do the exercises in the slides, I think this is a very good preparation for the final exam.
Mr., and about the quizzes that we have done, if we scored low marks, what should we do? Because most of us did not even succeed 50%.
Okay, it is of course very important how you prepare for the quiz. Yeah, maybe you see a
By many
result
marks
after the
question
quiz.
or mock exam.
No, there will be no mock exam, but of course you need to question how you prepared for the quiz. Yeah, did you study
Because
in
the
a
final is out of 70, you know.
Yeah, but this will always be the case at most geotech final exams. This is nothing very special. This is nothing very special. You need to check and reconsider how you prepared for the quiz. Yeah? Did you, for example, focus more on memorizing the slides, but then in the quiz you need to more apply your knowledge? Then memorizing is not a good strategy of preparing. Then you should try to change your way of learning. I think this is in particular for first year students very critical, that you always think about the way you learn, because some students I know, they spend a lot of time but they learn in the wrong way. They learn they memorize many things, but they are not trained to apply their knowledge. And maybe for some students this is one problem. Yeah, they spend a lot of time on preparing, but then they spend this time in the wrong way. It's very important that you can really solve these exercises and that you can apply your knowledge and not only memorize some concepts. I see there are many questions in the chat. Let me go through them.
Mr. The quiz will only be 15 minutes.
Mister, we
it
need
will be
more.
very short.
How many questions?
How many
Mister?
questions?
Yeah, Mister, we want to extra time for quiz tomorrow because it's
Then
very redundant enough.
we can go for 20 minutes, but not more. That's not very complicated.
How many questions in the quiz?
Probably 2 questions.
True, false?
You know, with true, false, I can ask many things where you also need to have a lot of calculations. So if I tell you true, false, you don't really know how the question will look like. This might just give a false sense of safety.
Okay, Mr. How many quizzes will be remaining after quiz 3?
We will have 2 more, and the best 4 out of 5 are counted towards your grade.
Okay.
When we will take these quizzes? Because we don't have time. Next week it will be last week of the semester.
No, we can have one next week and one the week after. We could also have the quiz later in the final exams week, but I recommend to do it before that.
Mister, we can't, because we have mathematics final and Excel final and a lot of subjects. That will be a lot of stress for us.
Yeah, but I mean, you have like 6 or 7 courses, and for each course there are some assessments. And as you see, this quiz for this ABC analysis, I mean, there are not so many, it's very focused, yeah. So I think it's good to prepare compared at least to the other quizzes that we had. This topic is more, yeah, there are not so many different questions to ask.
I think 3 no.
Sorry, 2 or 3 were talking at the same time.
Mister, this is the last quiz for this course, or we have another quiz?
No, we have more. We have 2 more after that.
Mister, 3 quizzes are enough, I think, because we don't have time to prepare. And
yeah, but you know, some students, they had a bad result in the first quiz, and of course they want to be better. So
yeah,
I understand that some, yeah, they have good results already, but others, they want to improve their results, of course.
But we don't have time. Next week we have mathematics quiz and we want to be prepared to the final exams.
Yeah, but see, you cannot only have one quiz per week. In particular, this is the weight of this quiz is not very high, so it's not a big exam, and you just, this is also part of being a student. It's not related to logistics management, but that you are able to have several quizzes, several finals in quite a short time. I know this is not easy, but of course it's not easy because then everyone can do it. So it's just part of the challenge that you need to master. That there are several quizzes at the same time. Yeah? I know it's not. I also was not excited when I had 2 quizzes on one day, for example, but unfortunately, this is something that we all need to learn to deal with. Yeah, to deal with this stress. What do you mean with make it open quiz? There's one question in the chat.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Can't we have the quiz after the final?
I'm at the moment. I'm technically it would be
If
possible,
the
but I think
students
the
agree.
final is already
Yeah.
very late. And I
Yeah,
recommend.
it's after finishing the final, 2 days after it or a day after it, we'll be like prepared.
Yeah. Let's postpone this discussion when we have the last quiz. Let's focus on this quiz tomorrow, and then let's take it step by step. This is my recommendation. We can have it also during the final exam weeks, but probably it's better to, in my opinion, it would be better to have it earlier before the final exams. Yeah.
Okay, Mister, can you upload
Mr. But then
chapters
I will upload.
before next week? Before next week, chapters uploaded, if you can.
Yeah,
Because we
I
want
think
to
I
study.
can. Not today, but I think I can upload
Tomorrow,
some
maybe.
more. Some more. Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
maybe until Thursday. Tomorrow I'm almost blocked, but maybe I can upload some more until Thursday, and then there's more time for preparing.
Okay, thank you.
And
Mr. At least change the time in the quiz. 20 at
which time when it starts?
yep.
And what
And
would
could
be a
you
better
please-
time?
I don't know, ask them.
Yeah, but
20
you're
or
saying
more?
the time is not good. So what is a better time, at least in your opinion?
Because Mr. the final is out of 70 and we don't have good marks. We have low marks. And
Okay,
as
but
someone said,
yeah.
no one succeed.
But now you say I should change the time of tomorrow's quiz?
You better ask them. Ask the students with the better time.
Yeah, but you mean from instead of 12
And yes,
p.m.
we
at 2 p.m.
more.
or what?
I don't know, ask them.
No, I don't see the connection between the time of tomorrow's quiz and the results of the quiz.
No, I don't mean PM or AM. I mean
The duration,
we need
the
more
minutes.
time.
Yeah.
Not yep.
Yeah. Okay. I now I got you. Now I got you. Yeah, 30 minutes is too long, Fatma. We can go for 20 minutes, but 30 minutes is definitely too long. You know, last semester, many bad things happened when the time was too long.
Okay, Mr. 25.
No, let's go from
Mr.
15 to 20.
Mr. But
Only 2
referring to our
questions.
marks, we need the time in order to at least pick ourselves up.
Yeah, you see, but this is
So
also
please, Mr.
part of the challenge. Yeah, to accomplish
This
something
is part of
in a
the
given
challenge
amount
if like
time.
we succeeded 50%, but at this point we're not even succeeding 50%. So it's better to like give us time, at least one quiz to get full marks.
It's better to prepare for this question, and then you will also get a good result. Don't write 25. 20 is good.
Okay, mister. Okay, mister. 25?
20. No, no.
Okay,
And how many
Mr.
questions are included?
Two,
Mister, how many
Two
questions are
questions,
included
he
in the
said.
exam?
two
Two
questions.
questions, he said.
And one will be related very close to this ABC analysis, what we just did.
Mister, please
It's
can you
multiple choice or questions or what?
I can ask you almost everything via multiple choice. So,
Mister,
you know,
please, we need this mark.
then you need to try to study. I mean, and study in the right way. I know that many spend a lot of
I
time.
know that, Mister. We work hard to get.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know that many are working hard, but somehow they are spending
Sir,
time on
the meeting will end in 2 minutes.
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. The
Uh,
slides enough to study.
Yeah, see, but looking at the textbook is always valuable. Yeah, of course, the slides are the
Doctor?
most important things, but the textbook,
Doctor?
very valuable. Yes.
We really want you to help us because in the last period it was really stressful. We only had 3 topics uploaded and the finals becoming sooner and sooner and sooner day by day. And that's adding too much pressure for us. We have other subjects, as you know. And right now we just knew that we have more quizzes and this is just pressuring us. So we really need you to help us figure out the solution.
Yeah, but I mean, this quiz is now very small compared to the other 2 quizzes.
Yes,
Yeah, the other quizzes were
I don't mean this quiz.
much bigger in the content.
We already agreed about this quiz,
Yeah.
Doctor, and we already agreed that we will do it. It's fine, we will do this quiz. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other quizzes, and I'm talking about if you could really cooperate with us and help us with a mock exam or something to make things easier, because we still need to study the previous lectures, and we still have to add on to that the new lectures that you will upload.
Yeah.
That's really hard for us. And I hope you can cooperate with us, because the last time, the last period, the last months, you didn't upload anything, and we were waiting, and suddenly new things come up, and yes, we will deal with it. After all, we can't do anything, but the only thing we can do is talk to you about it, and maybe you can help us with it.
Yeah.
Maybe give us a mock exam. I don't know. A mock exam would be good to help us. Because right now we have to study more and study the previous lectures. That's too much to add on to the other subjects as well.
Yeah, but I understand. I understand that you don't want that. It's a problem when there's too many new lectures on one day. That this is confusing.